I could sit here for a long time and talk about what Eddie Van Halen meant to me as a musician, as a guitar player, and as a songwriter. But I really don't feel like that's appropriate because there's really only one guitar player and one musician that Eddie Van Halen meant more to than any of us, and that's his only son, Wolfgang. What I think we were all looking forward to is what kind of guitars we could see come out of the EVH brand now that Eddie was no longer around to make the call. Well, when Wolfgang started Mammoth, it was pretty clear that he was going to veer away from the theme that his father had set in motion. Needless to say, I was intrigued. A lot of other guitar players were intrigued, so much so that when this thing finally got announced earlier this year, it has been perpetually sold out at just about every retailer. And thanks to my pals at Zounds, we have this beautiful tobacco sunburst SA-126 to take a look at today. We have the body, which is made of mahogany. This is different from the ES335 and the Starcaster we looked at in earlier videos, which were mostly made with maple or maple and poplar. There is a basswood center block in here as well. So that's a very interesting choice. The Wolfgang guitars are typically made from basswood, so adding in some of that basswood stability with the nice warmth of mahogany is a really nice combination. The neck is constructed from two pieces of mahogany, nice and sandwiched together, and done up in what EVH is calling the modified C shape. This is a bit of a departure from the Wolfgangs, which had a much more asymmetrical neck shape, but this is a very comfortable neck, very familiar for a Gibson player. But we do get the compound radius fretboard, 12-inch radius at the cowboy position, and then 16-inch radius up at the wheedly lead part. The neck is topped with an ebony fretboard, 24 3/4-inch scale length with 22 jumbo frets, which is then bolted on to the body with the EVH neck peel. But what's really cool are these triple block inlays. Now on Wolfgang's custom ones, we have the Mammoth logo at the 12th fret, but this just carries the 3-block inlays all the way from the 1st fret to the 21st. We have ourselves a new headstock shape, ladies and gentlemen, so y'all can comment on whether or not you like this headstock or not. Now we can work our way back down to the body and focus on the hardware and the electronics. Now, as I said earlier, it's gold hardware. We have an EVH Tune-O-Matic bridge and stop bar tailpiece, sitting very close to the body, which a lot of vintage Gibson fans will be happy to see. Now, as far as the electronics go, this is a very familiar setup if you are a dual humbucker guitar player. Les Pauls, 335s, SG, and the like. 2 volumes, 2 tone controls, and 2 humbuckers with a 3-way toggle switch on the top horn. But these are not Wolfgang pickups or Frankenstein pickups or anything EVH has put out so far. This is a brand new set of pickups developed in collaboration between Wolfgang and Fender's Tim Shaw. And boy howdy, these things are great sounding pickups. You'll hear in a little bit, but this is probably the best humbuckers that I've heard Fender make, well, since the Wolfgang humbuckers. Hey everybody, B-Roll Sean here. Forgot to mention something to you about the SA-126's pickups. Now you see pickup rings on the guitar, so you would assume they're mounted as normal. But these pickup rings are actually just cosmetic. The pickups are actually hard mounted into the basswood center block. This is something that EVH also does with, I'm pretty sure, every other guitar that they make. I've only really ever played Wolfgang's and 150 series, and they both had hard-mounted pickups. But I feel like that helps contribute to the overall liveliness of the guitar, and it contributes a little bit to the tone. I don't know, could be snake oil or just something I heard on the internet, or I don't know, maybe something I've actually experienced in real life, but I figured you'd at least like to know that the pickups are hard-mounted. I want to highlight a couple other things before we get into playing this, and it's mostly down to design aesthetics, which I think are actually what helps set this guitar apart. First off, we have the E hole. That's right, it's not an F hole, and you can very clearly see the E shape. Nice little tribute to his father. I think a great choice by Wolfgang all around. Now, when I flipped this guitar to the back, you may have noticed that there was a strap button on the neck heel, but when you see it up front, the strap buttons are in the normal places. This is actually a pretty cool idea. Basically, it gives you the choice of whether or not you want a traditional solid body strap setup or a traditional semi-hollow setup. So it looks good, it comes with a case, and it's got a lot of great specs to love, but the real important thing is how it sounds. So let's start checking out some basic clean and crunch tones. We're gonna use the PRS MT100 for the cleans and the Orange Rock Reverb for the dirty stuff. Let's get into it. Now, I hope I don't offend anybody at Fender and thus their subsidiary brands, including EVH, when I say this. Fender has never been one of my favorite companies to go to for humbuckers, but every time it comes to EVH, the humbuckers always deliver. And these, I think I like these better than the Wolfgang pickups. They are so stinking versatile. They take everything that I would want to hear in a guitar sound and put it in there. Great string separation, handles clean and crunch stuff really well. We just need to put it through a few more paces by combining it with a couple other varied sounds, some pedals, maybe get a little heavy, maybe a little dumbly. I don't know. Let's hear some more tones. friends, that is the EVH SA-126. This is quite a leap forward for EVH. Definitely veers from the theme that the brand has gone for since its inception. And honestly, I think 4 words sum it up best. Eddie would be proud. As a guy who, when he writes his own music, tries very hard not to fall into the trap of just do what your heroes did, I can really empathize with a lot of what Wolfgang is experiencing since he launched Mammoth. Everybody telling him, just pay tribute to your dad, play Van Halen covers, oh my god, you're not your dad. I honestly think, guys, that number 1, you're being trolls and jerks, and 2, there's no better tribute to Eddie than Wolfgang being Wolfgang. And that's exactly what this guitar is. This is not a guitar that you would think of coming out of a brand associated with the great Eddie Van Halen. But here it is, and it's absolutely fantastic. It plays like a dream. The neck is super comfortable. Thank you so much for an unfinished mahogany neck. And you know what? I really don't mind having the strap button right here and playing high up on the neck. It doesn't actually dig into the hand all that much. And also just being able to choose where I want it to go, I think is really great. Maybe one day I want to change it up. It's very easy to do. Now, for those of you wondering, this is made in Fender's Mexico facility, and they have done a great job of making this guitar. The construction is fantastic, and the wood choice for the top is just spot on. However, there's one small little detail that I want to bring up to you all. And when I say small, I mean that literally, because after I unboxed the guitar and got a chance to examine it in more detail, I noticed there were little tiny black specks of I don't know what, in various spots on the top of the guitar. Now, I bring this up because some people I know are gonna say that the guitar is damaged because of that reason. But hey, all I had to do was apply a little bit of elbow grease, and this guitar, which may have been a 9, is now officially a 10. In closing, I want to take a moment to thank Zounds for sending me the SA-126 to show off to all of you here. If you'd like to support my channel and also show Zounds some love, check out my affiliate link in the description box down below. You can use it for whatever kind of purchases you want. But I'd also like to take a moment to congratulate Wolfgang on not only the launch of Mammoth, the success of his 2 records, but also the launch of this beautiful guitar. Dude, this is a fantastic tribute to your father. I know he's got the big grin we all know and love him for on his face, knowing that you're following your passion, you're making your music, and playing your guitar. I'd really appreciate it if you supported my channel so I can keep making videos just like this. Clicking the subscribe button and ringing the notification bell is the easiest thing that you can do, and it doesn't cost anything. But the best way, and this also doesn't cost you anything, is by joining my email club. I send early access video links to every single person that signs up, and club members are open to club exclusive giveaways that I don't announce to the public. Not only that, you can hit the reply button on any email that I send you and ask me any question you may have about whatever it is guitar related that you are curious about. Thank you all so much for joining me for this September of Semi-Hollow series. I think this was a fantastic way to end it out. I hope to see you all in the next video, and until then, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, wishing you all watching great tone, great health, and of course, happy stomping. Cheers, friends. God bless.